I wasn't quite ready for bed, but it seemed like Rofi and Hunter were both calling it a night. That left Artemis and Ollie. I wonder what each of them are up to. Who should I spend time with? Um, I feel like Ollie was wanting to show me his setup. I feel like Artemis, he kind of just made dinner and he's probably tired, so let's go to Ollie. I decide I'm due to spend some time with Ollie. As I enter the living room, I run into him. He's standing in the middle of the room, lost in his phone, not quietly blocking the path, but not out of the way either. Must have been really absorbed in something. Hey! I try my best not to startle him, but fell anyways. Oh! I'm sorry, I'm totally in your way. Here, let me move. No, you're good. I just wanted to talk to you, actually. What are you up to? Nothing really, just scrolling. I know what you mean. Yeah. Hey, do you have any plans tonight? Ollie fiddles with his phone, spinning it between his claws so fast I'm afraid he'll drop it. Well, no. That sort of thing I was thinking about. Oh, didn't you want to show me your desktop setup like we were talking about earlier? The dino flushes a little, his eyes wandering the room. The twirling phone starts to spin faster. Well, yes, I do, but there was a lot of things to do and I got a little sidetracked. Oh, okay, that's fine. We'll do that tomorrow or whatever, no pressure. Ollie makes eye contact. Then he stops spinning his phone, and like clockwork begins to shuffle his feet. I still have my laptop though, we could watch something. One of my favorite YouTube channels always updates today, and I was wondering if I could watch the new episode with you if you're interested in that then. The words seem to spill out of his mouth in a jumble, almost as if he's afraid he won't get them out in time. Sure, that sounds fun. My phone buzzes in my pocket, and the thought occurs to me. As long as you don't mind if I answer some messages during. Now that the news has spread about the storm, I should probably let people know I'm okay. Unless all those notifications were Rofi and Hunter blowing up the group chat. No, it's totally fine. I always do stuff in the background while I'm watching too, so it's just kind of like in the background a bit. But I promise it's funny. I really like the host. Lead the way then. Oh, right. Sorry. He leads me up the stairs and down the left path to his room, hesitating for a moment at the door. Sorry again about the mess. Ollie opens the door and heads in first, kicking aside the discarded clothes on his way to bed. I follow, getting closer. Look at the room now that he's had more time to set up. The guest bed is in significant disarray, with most of the expanse taken up by the large boxes and laptop I have never seen. I can see the famous desktop sitting under a nearby table with three expensive, and no doubt expensive, monitors crowding the surface. A thicket of different colored cables cover the remaining space, their disconnected ends gathered in a pile on the floor. That tracks. Ollie would have a bad cable management. I'll finish setting it up tomorrow and you can see then, but is it cool if we use my laptop for tonight? Yeah, of course, I don't mind. Oh, thanks. Ollie scoots the computer over long enough to sit down and opens it up. You should be able to see it from here. He pats the empty seat next to him with a claw, excitement plain in his demeanor. I plop myself down onto the comfortable bed and slide up to the headboard, so I can see the screen. My eyes widen involuntarily at the sight. My computer desktop can get a little cluttered, but Ollie looks like a 52 pickup game at the scene of a car crash. He doesn't even seem to notice it, however, his practice claws pick needles out of a haystack, and in seconds the video pops up and the theme starts playing. Hey, do you mind if I open some other windows too? Normally I'd have 3 monitors to work with, but... He gestures to the tech pile on the nearby desk. Fine with me. I watch with growing awe as he arranges the other 2 windows. With their own muted videos playing, that looks like a turn-based RPG, which he leaves running in the background. Finally fishes his phone out of his pocket and boots up some sort of card game. Suddenly I feel very old and very slow. Is the volume high enough for you? What? I realize I haven't been paying much attention to the video at all. From its spot in the top right corner of the screen, it looks like someone's drawing something. Some kind of art show? Yeah. Yes, it's fine. So, what's the prompt? Didn't you hear the intro? My eyes drift back over to the RPG as it's playing itself. bright characters with shining weapons and dashing across the screen to slay enemies? No, actually, sorry. Ollie laughs, a high-pitched, sparkling sound, worlds different from his usual muted voice. He turns to me with a huge, toothy smile. That's okay, I'll start it over. I'm not sure how much that'll help. There's so much going on, it's really hard for me to focus on anything but nod, really. It felt nice to make Ollie laugh. I realize, nice to see him open up like this, even if it's hard work to keep up with him. I guess I could ask him to explain some of the stuff. He might enjoy talking about it. Do you mind telling me more about this YouTube channel? Sure. They're professional artists, and they take prompts from the viewers to draw certain things. And the kinds of prompts they take vary wildly too. Like, this week they're drawing characters based on different kinds of flowers. Last week they did more serious art challenge, where they picked one color and tried to make paintings using only shades of that color. I learned a ton about color theory and different kinds of values, and the final pieces were actually all really cool. Sounds hard. I've done a bit of drawing over the years, but I've never really got good at it. Are you an artist? Oh no, definitely no, definitely not. I can't draw to save my life. I mean, I think it might be cool, but... He drops his gaze and back down to his phone game. Nah, I just don't think I'd be any good at it. And it's probably too late to start now. Too late? Anyways, I like their banter. I love listening to good friends shoot shit, you know? Totally, my favorite podcasts are just buddies sitting at a table and talking. He nods enthusiastically, now engrossed into his phone game. What you playing? Oh, it's a deck builder, roguelike. I like it because it kind of strips the genre down to its basics, so the game's really comparatively quick. And I love the art style too. They hire a ton of really different talented artists to design them, so every card choice you make feels like it's really impactful and important. Cool, how do you play? Well, first you have to pick your starting cards. You only get 12, and you can't double up, so you really gotta think about your strategy ahead of time. Once you do that, then you venture into the first level of the dungeon, which is always the same layout. It starts to get randomized after the second. I'm very quickly realizing how open and verbose Ollie can be when he's talking about something he loves. Part of me wants to interrupt him with questions, but I don't want him to clam up again. It really is sweet how passionate he is. So you fight using a random drawn hand of 6 cards. Obviously each card has different things, but only has a certain number of uses, and when those are up, then you lose it for the rest of the run. But whenever you finish a fight, you get a choice of 3 random booster packs. Each of them have 3 cards to put into your side deck. Now the side deck is obviously very important because it's the only way you can keep your most powerful cards in your hand for when you need them, similar to the main deck for each fight you are dealt. He stops mid-sentence, seemingly to realize how much and how quickly he's been talking. Sorry, you didn't need to hear all of that. If you're interested, you can just play the tutorial. He'll do a much better job of explaining than I did. You're fine, Ollie. I think I actually caught most of what you said, well, maybe half of it. Here, give me the title. I'll download it later, okay? Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. By the way, I just wanted to make sure. You're okay with me calling you Ollie, right? Ollie's face creases in worry again. I mean, yeah. You know, like I said, it's different if it's you. He turns red. Because you're my age, and, I mean, obviously you're not going to judge me, I don't know, I get that feeling about you. But Theo, I don't know, he just seems so much older and more mature. It just makes me anxious. Like I said earlier, it's a childish nickname, so... Looking at his dejected face, I decide to push back gently. And like I said earlier, I think it's cute, it's not childish at all. His blush turns up to 11. You're just saying that, anyways. That's, well, kind of the issue Look, it's really not a big deal, like I said, I don't mind if you call me that, let's just talk about something else, please. Sure, totally. I'll have to ask him about that again later. For now, it's time to change the subject. What's this game again? I point to the RPG. Oh yeah, sorry about that. It has a daily reward mechanic, so I've just been running it on auto battle so I can get my dailies. Let me guess what game it is. Let me guess. Is it like Honkai? Is it Honkai Star Rail they're talking about? I can totally see that. That one has auto dailies you can run. All right. I don't know why, but some of these games I feel like I know what they are. All right. My problem is I like all of the characters, so I want them all to be high level, but I keep running out of XP items. Oh, it's one of those games. What are they called again? Gotcha. Oh my goodness! It has to be Honkai Star Rail. It has to be. I know there's a few other games we can run auto dailies, but that's the main one I can think of. It has to be Honkai Star Rail. He flushes slightly and fiddles with his trackpad. I know they're like a scam, basically built to trick kids into microtransactions, etc., etc. But this one's really well designed and has like a War and Peace levels of lore. And you don't need to pay real money to get everything, it just takes longer, and I know I actually like that because I can just keep going in the background if I'm bored. Hey, no shade, I played Neo Critters for the longest time, so I've got no room to judge. Ollie's disdain is so immediate and so earnest that I can't help but laugh. His blush deepens. Sorry, I tried to control myself, but like... Neo Critters? That just means we both have bad taste. I can live with that. He smiles once again, showing off his assortment of indecisors. Me too. My phone buzzes and I suddenly remember all the unread messages. I should probably answer those. I don't want people to start getting worried about me. I begin shifting through the questions and well wishes. Family, colleagues, friends, one or two old co-workers. A surprising number of people have reached out to me. The news of the snowstorm must have made it to some major news stations. I really expected it just to be Rofi and Hunter. I mean, of course it was them to some extent. Our group chat was starting to look like a GIF warehouse, but... Huh. A warm feeling begins to spread through my core. Sometimes you forget how many people are out there care about you. Who are you talking to? If you don't mind me asking. Just letting folks know that I'm alright, and I found somewhere to stay. I was just thinking how nice it was that they messaged me. Reminds me that I do have friends, even if they don't live here. Yes, it is nice, isn't it? He looks down, twiddles his thumbs for a moment. I have never in my life seen someone actually twiddle their thumbs. It suits him. I met almost all of my friends online, and they live all over the place, so... Except for Artemis, of course. I probably wouldn't be in this nice warm room if it wasn't for him. What do you mean? Well, this is embarrassing, but when Theo first came to my door, I didn't answer. I don't like opening the door to strangers whenever the doorbell rings unexpectedly. I just kinda freeze up. But Artemis knew I was still in there, so he came back with Theo and knocked until I opened up. He was pretty mad, especially once he realized how cold it's gotten in my apartment. I don't do very well in cold weather. I mean, I manage. I could live here otherwise, but without power, I think I would have been in real trouble if he hadn't been there. That reminds me, how did you two meet? I can't help but be curious. They seem like such unlikely friends. Well, we met in college, actually. We both went to the same school in the area. I think it was junior or senior year. My roommate was out, so I had a dorm room to myself for the night. Around 3 in the morning, I heard someone banging on the door and shouting, so I went to check it out. I didn't see anyone through the peephole. It turns out Artemis was sitting up against the door, and so when I opened it, he kind of just fell into the room. Ollie shakes his head, smiling softly. His voice takes on a new tone, smoother, less nervous. He sounds completely different person. He was so completely smashed, he didn't even realize he was on the wrong floor. I explained to him everything. He wasn't really in any state to leave. So I sat him in a chair, brought him some water, and we talked for hours. Well, I guess it was mostly him talking, but that was fine by me. I wanted to hear about him. He was surprisingly coherent. He told me about his music and tried to play me some of it, but he couldn't get his phone to work. It kept dropping into his lap. We talked until the sun came up, and by then he was feeling okay enough to walk. So we went to go get coffee. It was honestly a really magical night. Maybe more for me than him. When I talked to him about it later, he said he spent the rest of his day in bed with a nuclear hangover. He even draped a black blanket over his window to keep the light out. Ollie falls silent, then, lost in warm memories. I keep quiet too, not wanting to interrupt him. After a few moments, I speak up. That's a really nice story. It's kind of hard to believe, though, based on how he looks. I mean, somehow I can't imagine him being that much of a party dude. Despite my best efforts, my voice breaks the spell. I probably shouldn't have told you all about that. He doesn't really like when I bring up that story. I think he's still embarrassed about it. Sorry, but can you just, like, forget I told you, if that's okay, I mean. Ollie folds back into his usual self as he speaks, his voice deflatens along with him. I I just find you so easy to talk to, so it's kind of hard. It slipped out. Me easy to talk to? I mean, I guess I didn't really interrupt him, but that's just common courtesy. Hey, it's okay. I understand. We never had this conversation. Thanks. Tiredness suddenly washes over me. It's been a very eventful day. After all, especially after all the cleaning and packing I did yesterday in preparation for the flight. I yawn real big, remembering at the last second to cover my mouth with a paw. Tired? Maybe a little. You can go to bed if you want. It's been a long day. I'd feel bad ditching you, though. It's true, I would. I've really been enjoying sitting with him. It's fine, I'm probably not long for this world either. Cold weather makes me sleepy. Okay, I think I'll probably head to bed then. I say gratefully, maneuvering myself off the bed and standing up straight. Good night. Ollie chirps, waving his claw at me, the many windows on his laptop casting dancing lights across his face. Good night, Ollie. With some regret, I turn away and head out of the room. I remember Theo saying I'd be sleeping in the den. Though my sleepy haze, the small sitting room looks even cozier than it did before, I notice a pile of extra blankets in the chairs alongside my travel bag. I guess Theo moved it for me. So far, he's been really excellent host. Gotta remember to thank him tomorrow. And maybe apologize for asking about the photograph. Theo's face lingers in my mind as I start getting ready for bed, his tired eyes, his easygoing smile. It seems a little less convincing now that I've caught a glimpse of what's behind it. I shut the door, closing myself off from the rest of the house, and breathe a small sigh of relief. Everyone's been so friendly and welcoming, but being so social has been exhausting, and I have very little time to be myself. I yawn once more, fish some pajamas out of my bag. At least I could sleep in tomorrow. The air mattress is an air mattress, but it's not uncomfortable, certainly better than freezing in my bed back home. Regardless, my body doesn't seem to care. Sleep overwhelms me in an instant. I barely have time to realize I forgot to brush my teeth. Through these woods are new and strange. This snowy path I know, for I have walked miles and miles. With many more to go, with many more to go. Oh my goodness, I love this scene right now. Oh my. I wonder if I get to choose, to the cabin on the left or to the pond on the right. I love seeing these trees. I swear I used to have dreams of, like, weird forests like this. When I was little, this is what forests looked like. Just blurry like this and infinite. I guess this is... okay. I guess this is a good point to end it. I've been playing for a while today, so I hope you guys have been enjoying this little story. And make sure to go check out this game and support the creator on itch.io. Just look up Promises to Keep Vian. Anyways, I'm going to take a little break because I'm starting to stutter a whole lot more now that I've been reading for so long and, like, the words start blurring in my eyes. So, yeah, I got to take a little break. But anyways, I hope you guys have been enjoying. Adios. We'll be back for more later on.